The Young and the Uneasy weekly spoilers for the first week, July 8 to 12. Jack claps back and Kyle goes nuclear. Hi everyone, greetings from my channel again. Before we start the video, I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Kindly give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. From July 8 to 12, 2024, fans of The Young and the Restless can expect a week filled with drama and action as the show's compelling plots continue to develop. Michael Mealer's character Kyle Abbott is at odds with his parents, Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Additionally, Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and Jack, his business competitor, resume their chess game. However, the conflict between Kyle and his parents gets so bad that Kyle chooses to move out with his kid. His parents are devastated by this. Connor Floyd's character, Chance Chancellor, confides in Allison Lanier's character, Summer Newman, on the CBS opera. It concerns Chancellor Winter's impending demerger into Chancellor Abbott and Hamilton Winters. Kyle is also aware of Summer's worries regarding her custody status. Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, and Audra Charles, Zalika Silver, had a flirtatious chat. This suggests that a romance may be developing. Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, and Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, argue angrily about the demerger in another scene on Young and the Restless. And there's a passionate moment between Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, and thus raises the possibility of problems. Expect more surprises on Young as the week goes on, as well as the Restless. During the week of July 8 to 12, 24 Geno City residents manage their intricate relationships and commercial affairs. Stay tuned for updates on the whereabouts of your favorite characters and get all of your daily Young and the Restless spoilers and news here. As the long-running Abbott family drama enters a new chapter, the strain at Abbott Enterprises is evident. Kyle Abbott eventually reaches his breaking point after months of accumulating animosity. Although Kyle and his father, Jack Abbott, have always had a complicated relationship, recent events have caused him to go in a direction he never would have imagined. The impact from Kyle's startling outburst against his father will rock Abbott Enterprises to its foundations. Kyle's anger hits its maximum. Although Abbott has always held strong beliefs, recent difficulties in both his personal and professional lives have caused him to reevaluate everything he has ever known. He feels marginalized in his own family business, despite his best efforts. He has been watching his father, Jack, take charge of choices that have a direct impact on Abbott Enterprises' destiny for months. Even though Jack has always been a capable leader, Kyle's conceit as the heir apparent conflicts with his father's more level-headed, experience-based style. When Jack reveals a significant new strategic alliance for Abbott Enterprises, the long-simmering tension between father and son erupts. Jack has been negotiating the contract for months, and it is expected to fortify the company's reputation in the marketplace, but Kyle believes it directly jeopardizes his future goals. He refuses to watch Jack continue to lead the business in a path Kyle feels is out of date, and accuses his father of ignoring his advice. Kyle risks everything in a heated altercation at the Abbott residence. "You always do this, Dad." Kyle's voice quivers with emotion as he rages. "You don't ask me before making decisions. At every stage, you have ignored me. Why won't you believe me? I'm your son." Jack, who has always been a cool-headed patriarch, is surprised. Jack is unwavering despite Kyle's voice expressing dissatisfaction. "Kyle, I'm defending this business. I've been in this industry long enough to know what's best for Abbott Enterprises, even though I don't yet fully comprehend the situation." In a rare outburst, however, Kyle is unwilling to compromise. "Dad, you don't understand. This goes beyond business. It has to do with your lack of regard for me as an equal. I'm a partner, not simply your son, and we will never be able to proceed until you treat me as such." When the debate reaches a breaking point, Jack is taken aback by Kyle's remarks. Jack had always regarded Kyle as his heir apparent, but after hearing his son's rage, he starts to doubt whether Kyle is really prepared to assume the role. Jack's reaction. Retorting Jack Abbott's conflict is nothing new, but this altercation with Kyle is more personal than any boardroom dispute. Jack has worked tirelessly over the years to transform Abbott Enterprises into the prosperous business it is today. But Kyle is still affected emotionally by his outburst. Jack starts to question whether his relationship with his kid can really be saved. Jack is no quitter, and he refuses to let Kyle's harsh words derail his vision for the company. Determined to show Kyle that he has earned his position at Abbott Enterprises, Jack decides it's time for a reality check. The following day, Jack calls an emergency meeting with the Abbott Board of Directors. Kyle, still reeling from their heated argument, arrives to find Jack has already outlined a new set of plans for the future of the company, plans that will not include Kyle as an immediate leader, as he had hoped. In a professional but firm tone, Jack informs the board that he will be taking on a larger role in the day-to-day operations of Abbott Enterprises to ensure that the company remains on track. Kyle, now more furious than ever, tries to protest. "You can't do this, Jack," he shouts, but Jack interrupts him with a steely gaze. "This is not about you or me, Kyle. This is about Abbott Enterprises. I've spent years building this business. If you want to prove you're capable of leading, you need to show me, and the board, that you can make the tough calls." Jack's clapback is swift and calculated. He lays down an ultimatum for Kyle. Prove his worth through results in leadership, or continue to sit in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity that may never come. The message is clear. Jack's leadership is non-negotiable, and Kyle will need to prove himself if he expects any kind of authority. But Kyle isn't one to back down. As he leaves the boardroom, seething with anger, it's clear that this war isn't over. In fact, it's only just begun. Kyle now has a renewed sense of purpose, but his path to redemption, and to the future he believes he deserves, will be a treacherous one. Family dynamics. The ripple effect. The fallout from Kyle and Jack's confrontation extends far beyond just the two of them. As tensions rise within Abbott Enterprises, the other members of the Abbott family are forced to reckon with their own feelings about the conflict. Tracy's concern, a mother's worry. Tracy Abbott, ever the voice of reason, is deeply concerned about the rift growing between Kyle and Jack. While she understands both of their perspectives, she fears for the future of the family. Tracy's role as the peacemaker becomes more crucial than ever as she tries to mediate between her brother and father. She knows that Jack's pride is deeply wounded, but she also understands that Kyle's anger comes from a place of feeling overlooked and undervalued. In a private conversation with Kyle, Tracy gently reminds him of the importance of family. "I know you feel like you're being left behind, but we are a family. I want you to think carefully about how you approach this. We don't want this to tear us apart," Tracy says, trying to soften her brother's fiery resolve. "You're both important to Abbott Enterprises. You just need to find a way to work together." Kyle, torn between his loyalty to his father and his frustration with being stifled, listens to his sister but remains defiant. "I can't just sit back and wait forever. I'm done being second best," he insists. "Dad needs to realize that I'm ready. I don't need his approval. I'll take the reins, one way or another." But Tracy is not convinced. She worries that Kyle's impulsiveness could drive a wedge between them that may never heal. She fears for the future of Abbott Enterprises and the deepening divisions within her family. Ashley's perspective. The diplomat. Ashley Abbott, Kyle's aunt, has always been a force in the Abbott family. She is a brilliant strategist and understands the delicate balance between personal relationships and business. As the tension between Kyle and Jack escalates, Ashley becomes increasingly concerned about the long-term repercussions on the family business. In a candid conversation with Jack, Ashley urges him to find common ground with Kyle. "Jack, you know as well as I do that the longer this rift continues, the harder it will be to fix," she warns him. "Kyle needs your guidance, not your condemnation. If you push him too far, he may never come back to the table." But Jack, hurt by Kyle's outburst, isn't ready to relent. "I've given him everything, Ashley. He has to earn it now. I'm not going to just hand over control to him because of his name." Ashley understands her brother's pride, but she also sees the danger in alienating Kyle. She encourages Jack to find a way to bring him into the fold before it's too late. Kyle's next move. Power play. Kyle Abbott, now in full-blown rebellion mode, begins plotting his next move. Having been sidelined by his father, Kyle is determined to make a statement. His frustration with Jack's decision to tighten his control over Abbott Enterprises pushes him to take a bold step. He starts making moves behind the scenes to build his own network of allies within the company. Kyle's ambition has always been a driving force, but now it's fueled by pure determination. Several key figures within the business world, offering them lucrative partnerships in exchange for their loyalty. His charm and persuasive nature give him the upper hand, and he starts to accumulate a small group of supporters who believe in his vision for the future of Abbott Enterprises. As he gains ground, Kyle prepares to take his battle to the next level, but Jack remains an imposing figure, one that Kyle will have to topple if he's ever to claim the throne. As Kyle starts to make waves, it becomes clear that he's playing a dangerous game. His father's influence is vast, and Jack's retaliation will be swift and calculated. However, Kyle is no longer the naive son he once was. He's now a man on a mission, willing to do whatever it takes to prove himself as the rightful leader of the Abbott legacy. End of early weekly spoilers, July 8 to 12, 2025. The countdown to the ultimate showdown. As the week concludes, it's clear that the Abbott family is on the precipice of a major transformation. Kyle's quest for power has only just begun, and Jack Abbott's stoic resolve is about to be tested in ways he never imagined. Will father and son find common ground, or will this rivalry become the end of the Abbott legacy as they know it? The next few weeks promise to bring even more drama, intrigue, and explosive confrontations to the young and the restless. Stay tuned as the Abbott family's war continues, one that may leave nothing and no one unchanged. Kyle Abbott has made it clear that he will not go down without a fight. Feeling stifled and rejected by his father, Jack, Kyle's ambition to take control of Abbott Enterprises reaches new heights this week. But as Kyle continues his efforts to rally support within the company, the consequences of his defiance begin to surface in ways he never anticipated. The hunt for allies intensifies. Kyle's strategy is simple. He needs leverage, and the only way to get it is through alliances. With Jack asserting his dominance at the helm of Abbott Enterprises, Kyle realizes that he cannot take the throne by playing nice. It's time to make some serious moves, and this time, he's not asking for permission. Kyle sets his sights on some key figures within the company, individuals who have long been overshadowed by the Abbott family's presence. These employees and executives have felt underappreciated, and Kyle sees an opportunity to win them over with promises of greater control and recognition. His charismatic personality and sharp business acumen make him a natural at gaining trust, but there's a darker edge to his tactics. Kyle's next move is to make an offer to one of Abbott Enterprises' highest-ranking employees, someone Jack has always relied on. This individual, whose loyalty to Jack has been unwavering, is now being swayed by Kyle's vision of a future that could make them more than just a background player. The deal Kyle offers isn't overtly aggressive, but the implications are clear. He is positioning himself as the new leader of the company, and the power shift will be inevitable. As Kyle's network of allies grows, Jack remains blissfully unaware of the full extent of his son's maneuvering. But the clock is ticking. and it's only a matter of time before Jack realizes that his son is no longer the obedient follower he once was. Jack's strategic response: keeping control. While Kyle begins to gather his army, Jack Abbott isn't sitting idly by. A man of calculated moves, Jack has always been one step ahead of his adversaries, and his son is no exception. Jack knows that Kyle's ambitions are growing and that the power struggle for Abbott Enterprises is becoming a reality. But Jack, ever the seasoned businessman, has a few tricks up his sleeve. Jack's counterattack: the silent sabotage. After Kyle's explosive outburst, Jack takes a more measured approach. Rather than openly confronting his son, Jack chooses to operate from the shadows. He starts to distance himself from the people Kyle has been courting, offering them better deals and more lucrative opportunities to remain loyal to him. Jack's understanding of business dynamics allows him to see through Kyle's attempts to manipulate others, and he makes it clear to these key players that any move to ally with Kyle will be met with swift retaliation. Jack's approach isn't loud or brash. His power lies in his subtlety. He begins making quiet but powerful moves within Abbott Enterprises to ensure that no one would dare betray him. His moves are like a chess game, and Jack is making sure every piece is in the right place before he launches his final strike. This week, Jack's business savvy shines as he secures new, crucial deals that make him an even more indispensable figure at the head of Abbott Enterprises. Kyle's maneuvers may be bold, but Jack's calculated responses are what truly keep the company intact. Jack's family loyalty.
However,
while Jack is playing the corporate game, his family's loyalty remains his most powerful asset. As much as Kyle believes he's ready to take the reins, Jack knows that family ties run deep, and that could be the one factor he can rely on. At the Abbott family dinner table, Jack has a private conversation with Ashley and Tracy, where he confides his concerns about Kyle. "He's making moves, Ashley," Jack admits, his voice low. "I don't know if I can trust him anymore." Ashley, ever the diplomat, reminds Jack of the bond they share as a family. "He's your son, Jack. You've always believed in him, even when he didn't believe in himself. Don't let this drive a wedge between you." But Tracy, with a more pragmatic approach, warns Jack, Kyle isn't just angry, he's ambitious. And when Kyle gets that in his mind, there's no turning back. You're going to have to make a choice. How far are you willing to go to keep the family legacy intact? Jack sighs, torn between his desire to protect the family business and his need to maintain control. He knows the stakes are higher than ever. He has to decide whether to fight back with everything he has or to compromise and find a way to make peace with his son. Kyle's push for power, stepping up his game. As Jack's quiet retaliation unfolds, Kyle becomes more determined than ever to take control of Abbott Enterprises. He knows that if he's going to secure his future, he needs to make his mark, and soon. This week, Kyle steps up his efforts to prove himself as a worthy leader, but his actions may cause irreversible damage to his relationships. Kyle's emotional reckoning. Kyle's ambition is no longer just about business, it's personal. The pain of feeling overlooked by his father, the one person he's always looked up to, is beginning to eat at him. He becomes more distant from his family, unwilling to show vulnerability. But as Kyle pushes further into uncharted territory, the emotional toll starts to take a toll on him as well. At one point during the week, Kyle has a conversation with Summer, his wife, about his internal struggles. "I thought I could handle it," Kyle admits, his voice shaking with emotion. "But this is harder than I thought. I just want my dad to see me as an equal. I don't want to be in his shadow forever." Summer, always supportive but aware of the stakes, encourages Kyle to stay grounded. "You have so much potential, Kyle, but you need to be careful. Don't lose yourself in this fight with your dad. There's more at risk here than just Abbott Enterprises." But Kyle's response is cold. "It's not just about the company, Summer. It's about respect. And I won't stop until I have it." His words carry the weight of someone ready to burn every bridge to get what he wants. As Kyle's emotional reckoning deepens, it becomes clear that his war for power is far from over, and the fallout from his actions will extend far beyond just the Abbott family. Summer's role, the voice of reason. While Kyle's ambitions are on full display, Summer Abbott finds herself in the difficult position of trying to keep her husband grounded. Summer has always supported Kyle, but she's increasingly concerned about the toll his ambitions are taking on their family. This week, she begins to question whether she's standing by the right person, if Kyle's pursuit of power is worth sacrificing everything they've built together. In a heartfelt moment, Summer pulls Kyle aside. "I understand that you feel like you've been overlooked, but this path you're on, it's dangerous. I don't want to see you lose everything for something that may never happen." But Kyle, in his own turbulent emotional state, shuts her down. "I don't need anyone's approval, Summer, not yours, not my father's. This is my fight, and I'll fight it alone if I have to." This tense conversation leaves Summer conflicted. She loves Kyle deeply, but she begins to question whether her loyalty is misplaced. She knows that Kyle's ambition could take him to great heights, but it could also bring him to a place where he's lost everything that matters most, his family. The Abbott family's future, a fractured legacy. As the week closes, it's clear that the Abbott family is headed toward a moment of reckoning. Jack, as always, remains steadfast, but Kyle's increasing defiance is pushing them closer to an explosive confrontation. Meanwhile, Ashley, Tracy, and Summer each find themselves caught in the middle, trying to navigate the shifting dynamics within the family. With both father and son unwilling to back down, the question looms: who will emerge victorious in this battle for control of Abbott Enterprises? Will Kyle's determination be enough to dethrone his father, or will Jack's experience and authority hold the family together? As the stakes continue to rise, the Abbott family's legacy is on the line, and the outcome will shape the future of both their business and their relationships for years. Spoilers, July 8 to 12, 2025. What's next for the Abbotts? The Abbott family is on the edge of a dangerous precipice. Kyle's ambition is about to collide headfirst with Jack's unyielding grip on Abbott Enterprises, and no one will escape unscathed. Will Kyle's relentless pursuit of power push Jack too far? Will Summer's love for Kyle be tested beyond her limits? As the drama intensifies, it's clear that the Abbott legacy will never be the same. Stay tuned for the next explosive chapter in The Young and the Restless. Jack Abbott has always been a master of strategy, and this week, he proves once again that his ability to control the chessboard is unmatched. With Kyle pushing harder than ever to take control of Abbott Enterprises, Jack begins to take more drastic measures to protect both his position and the future of the company. Jack's new strategy: divide and conquer. Realizing that Kyle's allies are starting to form a network within Abbott Enterprises, Jack decides to implement a divide and conquer strategy. He focuses on exploiting the cracks in Kyle's network and slowly begins to undermine his son's trust among the people he's trying to bring into his fold. Jack leverages his deep knowledge of the company's inner workings and history to find subtle ways to discredit Kyle's ideas. This week, Jack discreetly pulls strings behind the scenes, subtly planting doubts in the minds of Kyle's new business partners and supporters. One of Kyle's closest confidants within Abbott Enterprises is suddenly presented with a choice: to stick with Kyle and risk being ousted, or to fall in line with Jack's direction and solidify their position in the company. This person, feeling the pressure, ultimately chooses Jack, sending a clear message to Kyle that his power is not as secure as he thought. Jack doesn't stop there, though. He sets up a series of meetings with major stakeholders in Abbott Enterprises, all while presenting himself as the only stable option for the company's future. His charm and leadership skills prove irresistible to these key figures, who see Jack as the rock-solid foundation they need in uncertain times. For now, Jack is successfully thwarting Kyle's attempt to take control, but the damage to their relationship is becoming irreparable. Jack's confrontation with Kyle, a defining moment. The culmination of Jack's efforts to stabilize the company culminates in an inevitable father-son showdown. Jack calls Kyle into his office for a one-on-one conversation, knowing that the time has come to lay everything on the table. The tension in the room is thick, as both men are well aware that their rivalry has escalated beyond business. It's now a matter of pride. "You think you can just walk in here and take over, Kyle?" Jack asks, his voice steady but laced with frustration. "You've overestimated your ability to run this company, and it's costing you more than you realize." Kyle, now fully entrenched in his belief that he is ready to lead, fights back. "I don't need your approval, Jack. I've got the vision and the drive to make Abbott Enterprises even stronger. You've grown complacent, and now I'm the one who's going to make the hard decisions." Jack's response is as sharp as ever. "You're not ready, Kyle, and you're too blinded by ambition to see that. The people you're trying to rally aren't loyal to you, they're loyal to the company. And you've done nothing but alienate the very people who could help you succeed." As the argument reaches its boiling point, Jack delivers a brutal truth. "I will not hand over this company to you, not like this. Not while you're acting out of spite rather than a clear vision." Kyle's anger boils over, and he makes a final attempt to assert his dominance. "You can keep your little empire, Jack, but mark my words, this isn't over." With that, Kyle storms out of Jack's office, the tension between them palpable and irrevocable. The war for control of Abbott Enterprises is far from finished, but one thing is certain: father and son are on a collision course that will change the course of the company forever. Kyle's desperation, a dangerous alliance. As Kyle's fight for control becomes more desperate, he begins to make alliances that push him further away from his family, and the consequences of these alliances could be disastrous. Kyle reaches out to Theo Vanderway, an unexpected alliance. In a shocking twist, Kyle reaches out to none other than Theo Vanderway, the black sheep of the Abbott family, who has long been considered a threat to the family's unity. Theo, who has previously been embroiled in drama with the Abbotts, sees an opportunity in Kyle's ambition. The two men have never seen eye to eye, but Kyle's hunger for power makes him willing to strike deals with anyone who Theo and Kyle discuss a plan that involves not just taking on Jack, but completely dismantling his influence within the company. Theo suggests leveraging his media connections to publicly discredit Jack's recent decisions, portraying him as outdated and out of touch with the current market trends. The idea is to create a public relations nightmare for Jack, forcing the board of directors to reconsider his position. While Kyle hesitates at first, the allure of winning over the board through public support becomes too tempting. He agrees to Theo's proposal, forming an uneasy but powerful alliance. As the week progresses, Kyle becomes more consumed by his quest for power, and his dealings with Theo set the stage for a new wave of tension in the Abbott family. But the question remains, can Kyle truly trust Theo, or is this alliance a ticking time bomb waiting to explode? Summer's growing concerns. A torn heart? Summer Abbott has always been the voice of reason for Kyle, but even she is beginning to feel the strain of their relationship. As Kyle continues to push forward with his plans to take control of Abbott Enterprises, Summer finds herself caught between her loyalty to her husband and her growing concern for their future. Summer's struggle. Torn between love and family, Summer watches in growing distress as Kyle becomes increasingly consumed by his ambitions. She sees how his fixation on taking over the company is driving a wedge between them, and it's starting to wear on her emotionally. As Kyle spends more time planning his next moves, Summer feels the distance between them widening. At the same time, Summer is drawn into conversations with other members of the Abbott family, who are becoming increasingly concerned about Kyle's behavior. Tracy, in particular, expresses her worries to Summer telling her, "You know Kyle, Summer. He's always been ambitious, but this is different. I'm afraid he's pushing too hard, and we may lose him if he keeps going down this path." Summer doesn't know how to respond. She loves Kyle with all her heart, but she can't ignore the toll his ambition is taking on their relationship. "I don't know what to do anymore, Tracy. I just want to hold on to the man I married, but he's changing." This week, Summer begins to question whether she can continue to stand by Kyle's side. She doesn't want to lose him to the chaos he's creating, but she also knows that she can't stand by and watch him destroy himself and their future. The Abbott family divided, the future of Abbott Enterprises. As the week comes to a close, the Abbott family finds itself more fractured than ever before. Jack, steadfast in his commitment to the company, is unwilling to let Kyle's ambitions threaten everything he has worked for. Meanwhile, Kyle's willingness to do whatever it takes to seize control is starting to blur the lines between family loyalty and business. Tracy and Ashley's role. The peacemakers in the middle. Tracy and Ashley Abbott, though caught between their father and their nephew, begin to see just how dire the situation has become. Tracy, ever the peacemaker, reaches out to Jack, telling him, "We need to find a way to come together as a family. If this continues, we'll lose everything we've worked for, together." Ashley, who has always been a shrewd businesswoman, sees the long-term consequences of their actions. "We've all fought for Abbott Enterprises, Jack, but at what cost? We need to figure out how to navigate this without destroying the company and the family." But Jack, with his heart hardened by Kyle's betrayal, is not yet willing to compromise. "You don't understand, Ashley. Kyle is no longer the son I knew. If he wants to take over, he's going to have to earn it." The family's unity is crumbling, and as tensions rise, the future of Abbott Enterprises becomes even more uncertain. With Kyle's alliances shifting, Jack's countermeasures in full swing, and Summer's emotional turmoil intensifying, the Abbott family is facing a crisis that could tear them apart and forever change the legacy of Abbott Enterprises. End of spoilers, July 8 to 12, 2025. Looking ahead, a showdown looms. The coming weeks promise even more drama, with the power struggle between Jack and Kyle reaching its apex. Will Jack's business acumen and long-standing alliances be enough to defeat his son's hunger for power? Or will Kyle's ruthless pursuit of control tear the Abbott family apart for good? Stay tuned as the Abbott family saga continues to unfold, with shocking twists, betrayals, and emotional showdowns that will leave fans on the edge of their seat.